Hello and welcome. The spotlight on Budget 2025, closer than ever before now. And of course, to discuss expectations, key anticipations, just minutes away from Budget 2025, I'm joined by Director General of CII, Chandrajit Banerjee. Thank you for your time. Shardul Estroff, Chairman, CII Task Force on Insolvency and Bankruptcy. Thank you for your time. Chandrajit Banerjee, I'd like to begin by asking you. The Prime Minister yesterday set a very clear vision saying this will be a budget for Viksit Bharat 2025, one that will also focus on the youth. Your key expectations on reforms that can drive this then?
You know, one of the things that we would obviously expect from the budget this year would be how it is strongly growth oriented, yeah, right? And India can move into a higher figure of growth rate over a period of time, which will be so much necessary for decades for us to be Viksit Bharat, and that's the idea. Have the economic fundamentals being strong, we have had strong fiscal prudence over the last few years. We've come into a glide path as far and maintained it. In fact, more than that, I think the strong focus would have to be on growth this year. So when we look at growth, we look at the next gen reforms, right? And these are factor market reforms. We would need to see things coming in on land, on labor, on agriculture. And I think we need to, this is the right time for India to push for it. And in that, there is a lot of inclusivity involved. When I say that, I mean the states of India in particular, because they have to be folded in to see how that these reforms are even seen in where the investments really come in from. And that would help, of course, our speed towards the Viksit Bharat. So that's something which we would be looking out for this in this budget is growth and taking forward the next gen reforms.
Absolutely. Shardul Estroff, do you agree that it is need for inclusive and sustainable growth now, not just growth? And the economic survey also focusing on deregulation. So your thoughts?
I feel that there will be a lot of deregulation for the reason that unless you unshackle the economy from regulation, you can't accelerate growth. So you will see a lot of change in the land laws, in the water laws, in the states, because the reforms have to happen at the level of the state. And unless and until there is a push from the state to the center, these reforms will not, have the concerned effect. This budget is the first budget for the Prime Minister after his re-election. So I expect that it will be a big bang budget. It will be pro-poor budget. It will increase the limits of exemption as is expected. It will probably give the 15 lakhs limit as the start point, or maybe a figure between 10 and 15. So I think it will be a pro-poor budget.
All right, Chandrajit Banerjee, do you agree? It will be a pro-poor budget. It will be one that will cater to all these needs. And of course, the big ask this time is the tax relief.
You know, a pro-poor budget is not a bad budget. It's an important budget. It's necessary to for a budget to be pro-poor. And I think that helps every section of the economy if it is pro-poor. And of course, to your first question, that helps us move towards a Viksit Bharat. And I do hope that we will see a pro-poor budget, of course, pro-everybody budget, so to say. But yes, focus on rural economy, so to say, number one, focusing on non-agricultural rural jobs, rural enterprises that can move in. Those would actually bolster employment. When Shardul talks about pro-poor, I mean, it encompasses all of that. So when you look at tax cut, yes, of course, tax cut. Why? Because for the middle income group, the lower income group, is because today, after the pandemic, you've seen the type of costs that that a family incurs on healthcare. Education costs are different now. Even food basket, we have been challenged. So there is need for that, not only just for adjusting to it, but consumption also contributes to a large part of our economy. And bolstering consumption would also help the economy grow. So that also leads to a large amount of employment, and employment is very, very critical to see different and new avenues of employment coming up, and it's making it easier for people to find out where jobs are. So an integrated type of a portal of many employment schemes we have for many ministries at one place. All of these, one of the big things that are important, visionary thing that the Prime Minister has always been talking about is ease of living. And all of this really fits into very well to that.
All right, with just minutes away from, of course, the Finance Minister's announcement, Shardul Esharov, your key expectation then?
My key expectations are that there will be, as Chandraji just mentioned, there will be a general principle of moving up from the bottom. There will be clear exemptions in favor of the salaried class, the middle and small scale segment. There will be the aspect of capital gains I expect to be touched. There will be aspects of the insurance increasing, as can be seen from the Delhi kind of the push towards giving common man budgets in terms of health, in terms of accidents. So it will cover stuff which has not been covered so far.
All right, lastly, Chandrajit Banerjee, the economic survey also talks about the benefits of artificial intelligence and how this is India's moment to really grab this opportunity you were talking about. And the CII has, of course, given a 7-point agenda. If we are looking at jobs, it's not just about reskilling and upskilling. Now, many believe the need of the hour is also implementation. So how do you think we can address this going forward to the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 then?
One of the important things for us would be to look at the future of jobs. And this narrative, which is on globally about artificial intelligence, whether it will take away jobs or create jobs, I think there are lots of opportunities, which also the economic survey touched upon. We need to have, what we have been working on as a country, and we would like to see that even getting into the policy framework through the budget, is a structure or a institutionalized mechanism where issues like the technologies for the future and AI are discussed and deliberated with various stakeholders. Industry is one of the key stakeholders, and then policies around it and opportunities around it are framed. Regulatory framework also comes out of those deliberations and discussions. But to have a sort of a strong, framework, institutional framework led by the government, front-ended by the government at the highest level possible to really look at these different stakeholders would be important. Retrainings, curriculums, etc., changes in the academic curriculum, consultations with the industry to make those changes would automatically lead to the different types of job sets that will come up in the future in the industry and beyond. And I think that's going to be, and see how we are able, as you say, Viksit Bharat, it's important for us to see how these tools are used even in agriculture and other areas which will benefit the common man and all of us. So it's a great opportunity.
Absolutely, to inclusive and sustainable growth then. And of course, we will know in just minutes from now what Budget 2025 has to deliver, a whole host of expectations. Of course, we've just heard on key suggestions as well. Thank you both for your time.